Well, hello, welcome back to a very wet and windy day in Guernsey. Now, truth be told, I've really had lack of motivation lately. I've not done a lot of fishing whatsoever. I've been out a couple of times with a few mates here and there, not taking the camera with me, but I really haven't done a lot of fishing lately whatsoever. Now, this afternoon I've got a couple of hours spare. I've actually got tomorrow off as well, so my plan is to fish for a couple hours today and also go out tomorrow afternoon on the hunt for some bass. Now, depending how the next hour or so goes, I might end up linking the clips I get from today with tomorrow, making one video out of it. We'll just see how it goes. Now, we've got a very strong southwesterly wind today. It's blowing a gale. It keeps raining as well, however it's been dry for the last hour and I'm hoping it's going to stay dry for the next at least hour whilst I'm out. So the first mark I'm going to fish today, this isn't the ideal tide I'd like to fish it on, but it's worth a go. This time of year you just got a chance at really. There are still bass being caught, which I've seen lately on people's social media and Instagram and stuff, but yeah, you really got to work for it that little bit more. Now, saying that, I'm actually going to throw out a surface lure first of all today. Going to be fishing over shallow ground. I've seen a couple of guys over here, they've had a few bass taken on the surface lures in the last sort of week and a half, so that's really good signs. So I'm just intending to cast it out. I'm going to have the wind behind me and I'm just going to work it that little bit slower, just twitching it about next to all the rocky pinnacles, and hopefully something jumps out and takes a swipe at it. Now, I'll probably go somewhere else after here. As I said, this isn't the ideal tide I'd fish it on. Hopefully there's going to be some fish about, but I'd expect it to fish better in a few hours time. So I may go somewhere else as the tide's rising. I may stay here, I really don't know. We'll just see how it goes, but it's good to be out. Even if it is middle of winter, it's nice to be out anyway. Finally going to chuck a lure and hopefully find a fish. Well, I tell you what, I do not believe this for two reasons. One, I've just caught a bass first cast, and two, this bloody camera, which has been playing up on me for months now, froze, didn't film anything. But I was just saying on this camera, I just cast the lure out and I was saying how it was shallow water. He's actually taken this quite deep. But there we go, one bass taken on a surface lure. Well, that is an absolutely cracking start, absolutely fantastic. So as I was saying, I literally just hopped onto that boulder there. I'm 95% sure this camera got none of that. First cast out, just started giving it a few twitches, working it quite slowly, and yeah, as I was bringing the lure in, bang, that bass, no hesitation whatsoever, just came up, hit the lure. Now, unfortunately, it's taken it pretty deep, so I'm going to keep this fish. I've got a measure on me. I'm 100% sure it's over the 42 centimetre, but I will measure it just to make sure. Unfortunate that, but yeah, these things do happen. Now, funny enough, I switched all of my hard lures over to singles the other day. However, I kept the trebles on the top waters because I had taken them out of my lure box because I hadn't been using them really over winter. So it was only yesterday I put this top water back into my lure box still with the trebles. Now, to be honest, it took it so deep, even if it was a single hook on there, it probably still would have caused quite a bit of damage. But anyone who watches my channel and knows how I fish, I like to release sort of 95% of all the fish I catch. I only keep the odd one here and there, but I am going to keep this one. So first cast, happy days, we got ourselves a bass. I cannot believe that bloody camera didn't record. Let's go out the cast number 2. So all I said in the first clip was just casting the lure out, obviously, winding in that slack. Get quite a bit of slack with the wind. And then just slowly working it in. And I like to pause the lure just every now and then. But it's just a slow retrieve really, steady retrieve. And I reckon that bass took probably 20-25 meters away from me. That tide's whipping in really fast as well. But what a start. And it's always such a great feeling to catch bass off the surface, let alone in the middle of March as well. As I said, there's a few guys over here which I've seen they've been out, they've been posting on Instagram over the last week or two, and they've been getting a few off the top. So it just goes to show, if you're in the right place at the right time and those fish are hungry, even though that water's cold and the conditions are very wintry and blustery, they will still take a top water. Now, one thing you got to watch out for here is the birds. I'm using a top water lure. So many seabirds around. It's also a good indication though, you get a lot of birds around here. If they start hitting the surface or swooping down, you know they've seen something in the water. Now I really hope that's not going to be the first cast curse. There's one bass around, there's got to be more. There's bass swirling. Come on. Just had two swirls behind the lure then. Come on. That was right in a big patch of tide there. As soon as that lure hits the water, the tide takes it. Come on. Oh yes, there we go. Boom. Oh man, I've missed this, I can tell you that. God, he's staying pretty deep, this one. Come on. Coasting round to the side there. About the same size as the first. So that there is winter bass fishing, baby. Winter bass on surface lures. Great stuff. Right, well that's that bass on hook. Now it's just started bloody raining again. I've got that bass just in a pool down here. I'm just going to leave him for a second. So I want to get fishing straight away. This pool's deep enough, it's 2 foot deep, so it'll be perfectly fine in there. Now I said at the start of the video I hadn't fished in a while, and I can really tell because my pliers are seized up. I haven't used them in that long. But this is brilliant. I just said then as I cast the lure out, I had 2 swirls behind the lure. And I thought to myself, if this keeps happening, I'll put on a diver, because it is March, the water is cold, it's not prime top water season, so they can be a bit finicky sometimes. But the cast after that was when this fish took. So I'm going to keep the top water on for now and see if I can get any more hookups. Now I'll try and get this camera somewhere sheltered. The wind and the rain is coming right in here, as you can probably tell. It's blowing over the camera now. So I'll try and do my best with the filming, and I can't really trust this camera because it keeps freezing on me. Well, it is absolutely horrible. Grey, wet, windy. Let's get some more bass. There might just be a little school of bass in here, all of roughly that size. I'm going to give it 5 or 6 more casts with a surface lure for now though. Oh yes, I'm in again. Boo! That was a really weird take. Oh! I think this is even smaller, this fish. Yeah, God, this one's a little piddler. But there's bass number 3. Beautiful stuff. Just a little one this time, little bambino. Let's get him back. Here you go, mate. Into the gully. This is excellent. That was a really, really subtle take, that. Let's see if we can find a bigger one. Well, I must admit, I'd have been happy with 1 bass today. But 3, that's absolutely great. They're all small, obviously, but bass is bass in the middle of March. So I said I'll have about 5 more casts with this top water. Let's keep going with it. That take was really, really weird. Kind of came up and swirled for the lure, and then all of a sudden the rod just bent over. There wasn't really an initial hit, if that makes sense. But I love a nice white lure on a day like this. Murky water, whether it's a top water lure or a diver or a plastic. White is probably my favourite colour to use. So I've had half a dozen more casts with the top water lure. Now what I found is it went pretty quiet into the area I was casting in. With that tide flooding, the fish are going to be moving about. The tide here swirls around in all different areas, so you find the tide, you'll find the fish. Sure enough, as soon as it started flooding over this shallow reef, I started casting the lure there. Now I'm getting swirls behind the lure, but they won't hit it. They only look like small bass. So I'm going to stick a diving lure on. I think I'm going to go for I was going to put a Komomo, but I'm going to have to go for a Suzuki because I need something a bit heavier. The Komomo is only, I think, 15 gram, and I'm going to be casting straight against the wind here. So we'll take this surface lure off, clip this on. Now this has got single hooks. Hopefully we can find a few on this. Whoa, bloody hell, that was close. So I'm just having a couple of casts from the shore here, the other side of the bay. Just wanted to see if there are any fish over this side. Now the rocks I was on over the other side there are cut off now, but they are good to fish over during the flood. So I was just kind of waiting for the tide to flood over them completely, and then I'll go back and cast a lure over that rocky area. so far it's not been too bad. Unfortunately that rain's stopped now. It's got a little bit clearer as well. Now as I was saying, the bit I was fishing earlier, it's just a patch of reef. Now that tide's flooded over it now, and it's so surprising how quickly that tide comes up. Now what I might do is just walk across the shore here and have a few flicks with the surface lure and just fish over that little bit of reef and see if I can pick anything up. I'll probably stay for another 20 minutes or so. Now I thought I'd walk down this side of the bay just to see if the fish had moved this side. But I've had about I've had about a dozen casts here, and I haven't seen anything, no swells or anything like that. So I'm going to stick with the top water lure at the moment, the Patchinko. This is the Nacre 140. And just flick this out, work it slowly over that reef and see if we can maybe find one more fish before we leave. Oh yes, there we go, boom. Straight off the shore, baby. Come on. Another bass. Just a little one. But my God, what fun. Oh, beautifully hooked that one. Oh, there we go, it worked. Straight off the shore, working that top water lure. Now I was getting splashes left, right and centre on one of the casts. Again, it's just a small bass, but we don't care. And there you have it. Just a small skinny one, but you cannot complain with that. March time, top water fishing, incredible. Oh well, this really is great fun. I'm going to give it a few more casts, see if we can maybe pick up another one. Now, that's what I mean about this camera. It just absolutely freaks out. Starts doing all sorts, filming on time lapse and freezing and everything. You really can't trust it. So yeah, all I was doing then was casting. You might be able to see the rocks behind me that I was stood on before. Just casting right next to them. Tide takes the lure a little bit because there's another pinnacle of rocks just which is underwater now, so the tide's obviously rushing through that and pushing out, so it pushes the lure out a little bit, and then I just start twitching it through the one of the channels there, and that's where I'm getting all the swells, and that's where that hookup was. So let's give it a few more casts and see if we can find another. Well, that was a definite swell then. That was a good few feet away from the lure though. That was definitely a bass. Hit the surface. I'll just have another hit then. Oh shit. That ain't good. Smashed my rod tip on the ground. Another one bites the dust. A little tiny one that, but not shy of taking that lure at all. Now, one thing I am a little concerned about is I absolutely hammered my rod on the ground when I cast just before. Oh, big swell, big swell. Come on. Yeah, so I really hope I haven't damaged it. Soon find out if I hook a big fish and it goes snap. I tell you what, there's a lot of bass around here. To say I haven't fished in quite a while, it had been tough work the last sort of 2 weeks when I had been fishing. And even though these fish are small, there's certainly a few of them around here for sure. And what the weird thing is they're all in the same area of when I very first got here. I'm just going to wind that in quick. Yeah, they're all in the same area. So what I was expecting, the reason why I moved further down the beach earlier is because I thought the fish would move with the tide, but they've hovered in that same area this whole time. It's quite interesting. You can never really figure out what the hell they're up to. So that's going to bring an end to my little afternoon session today. What more can I say? It's been so much fun. Yeah, I've not been out in quite a while. To come out today and catch, I don't know what it was, half a dozen bass in the end on a top water lure really has made my day. Now it's absolutely mad. Even on the last cast I had there, I'm still getting swells, so the fish are still here. But I'm gonna call it a day today. I've had loads of missed hits on another day, might have had a few more hookups, or if it was a nice summer's day, possibly had a few more hookups, but you really can't complain with that. A few bass today, nothing big, but so much fun on a surface lure as well. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I've tried to film to the best of my ability in between the rain and everything. I'm absolutely soaked. I've got two full boots of water as well, but it's been totally worth it. Now I will be out again tomorrow, so hopefully I'll be hitting a different mark, a different spot on a different tide, and hopefully connecting to a few more fish again. So yeah, I'm just going to leave it there for that one. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks very much for watching. Go check out all the other bass videos on my channel if you're into that kind of thing. Consider subscribing if you'd like to, and yeah, leave a like on this video if you like what you see. So once again, thanks very much. I'll see you on the next one.